Have you ever carefully placed something on a table, a pen, a glass, your phone, only to watch your cat walk over, stare at it for a moment, and slowly push it right off the edge? The object teeters for a second before clattering to the floor, and your cat calmly watches it fall as if conducting a tiny science experiment. To us, it might feel mischievous or even a little rude. But to a cat, this strange little act is surprisingly meaningful. It's tied to instinct, curiosity, and the unique way cats interact with their environment. So why do cats seem so determined to knock things off tables in the first place? Today, we will explore the surprisingly scientific and instinct-driven reasons behind this oddly charming feline behavior, right here on History of Simple Things. To understand this habit, it helps to start with a simple truth about cats. They are natural hunters. Even the most pampered indoor cat carries the instincts of a predator that evolved to chase, catch, and test moving prey. In the wild, small animals often move unpredictably. A mouse might dart, twitch, or suddenly run. Because of this, cats evolved to investigate objects with quick paw taps. When a cat nudges something with its paw, it's essentially checking whether the object might be alive or worth chasing. When the object moves, especially if it falls, it triggers that ancient hunting curiosity. In fact, a cat's paw is one of its most sensitive tools. The underside of their paws contains numerous nerve endings that help them detect movement and texture. When a cat reaches out and pushes something, it's not always about causing chaos. It's often about gathering information. Does it move? Does it roll? Does it make noise? From a cat's perspective, knocking something off a table is a quick way to answer those questions. There's also a strong element of curiosity involved. Cats are naturally inquisitive animals. Anyone who has lived with one knows they love exploring shelves, boxes, bags, and countertops. Elevated surfaces are especially attractive because they give cats a better view of their surroundings. From a table or shelf, a cat can survey the room like a lookout on a tower. When they encounter objects sitting on those surfaces, they often interact with them simply because they're new or interesting. Sometimes the attraction is the motion itself. When a cat taps an object near the edge of a table, the object might wobble slightly before falling. That movement can be fascinating. It's similar to how cats react to dangling strings or laser pointers. Their brains are wired to notice small motions and respond quickly. So when something shifts or teeters, the cat's instincts kick in. Another reason cats knock things off surfaces is surprisingly social. They might be trying to get your attention. Cats are extremely observant creatures. They quickly learn which actions produce reactions from their humans. If a cat once pushed a pen off a desk and you immediately looked up, spoke to them, or walked over, the cat may have learned that this behavior reliably gets your attention. In a cat's mind, that's a successful strategy. Over time, this can turn into a pattern. The cat might repeat the action not because it's destructive, but because it's effective. If you're working on a laptop or looking at your phone, the cat may push something off the table simply to break your focus and remind you they're there. From their perspective, the falling object is just a button that summons their human. There's also the possibility of boredom. Cats, especially indoor cats, rely heavily on their environment for stimulation. Without enough play or mental activity, they may create their own entertainment. Knocking things off a table can become a form of play, an experiment that produces interesting sounds, motion, and reactions. Interestingly, scientists who study animal behavior often point out that cats enjoy cause and effect interactions. In other words, they like discovering what happens when they do something. Push this object and it falls. Tap that one and it rolls. Each interaction teaches them something about their environment. It's not quite the same as human reasoning, but it does show that cats enjoy exploring how their actions change the world around them. Physical design also plays a role. Cats are incredibly precise with their paws. Unlike dogs, which rely more on their mouths to manipulate objects, cats frequently use their paws to interact with things. Their retractable claws allow them to grip or tap objects with fine control. When a cat reaches out slowly and pushes an item toward the edge, they are using the same dexterity they would use to pin down prey. There's also a practical side to how cats navigate surfaces. Cats often clear space in the areas where they want to sit or lie down. If a cat jumps onto a cluttered desk or shelf, pushing objects aside or off may simply be a way of making room. From their perspective, the table might just be a potential resting spot that needs a little rearranging. When we see a cat calmly watching an object fall from a table, it can almost feel deliberate, as if the cat understands the chaos it's causing. In reality, the cat is usually focused on the movement and sound that follow. The moment the object hits the floor, it becomes a new event, something to observe, maybe even chase. That doesn't mean cats are incapable of learning limits, though. If certain objects consistently disappear or become inaccessible, many cats eventually lose interest. Providing other outlets for their curiosity, like puzzle toys, climbing structures, or interactive play, can also reduce the urge to investigate everything on a tabletop. So the next time your cat slowly reaches out and nudges something toward the edge of the table, it might not be an act of rebellion at all. It could be curiosity, instinct, boredom, attention-seeking, or simply a playful experiment in physics. To the cat, the falling object is just another small mystery to explore. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.